Wipe it immaculately, Black Housemaid, and perhaps I'll allow you to test the luxurious suede armchair. Harlan Whitaker's voice sliced through the clamor of the Manhattan penthouse party, his eyes narrowing on Elena Thompson as she knelt on the marble floor, rag clutched in her calloused hands. The words hit like a whip, drawing snickers from the cluster of guests in tailored suits and glittering gowns. Their champagne flutes paused mid-sip. Elena's jaw tightened, her knuckles whitening around the cloth, but she didn't lift her gaze. She scrubbed harder, the faint spill from a dropped glass spreading under her pressure, her knees aching against the cold stone. Harlan loomed closer, his polished loafers inches from her fingers, the scent of his cologne mixing with the sharp tang of spilled wine. You hear me? Spotless, or forget that chair. It's for people who belong. A guest, ruddy-faced and swaying from too much bourbon, chuckled and stepped forward. Yeah, make it shine, girl. We don't want your kind leaving marks. Elena's breath caught, her heart pounding as she reached for a shard of broken crystal. The man's foot came down deliberately, grinding into her hand, the glass biting deep into her palm. Pain exploded up her arm, blood welling hot and sticky, but she bit her lip, refusing to cry out. The room blurred with murmurs, some shocked, others amused. Harlan barked a laugh, crossing his arms. See? That's what happens when you don't move fast enough. Now clean it up proper, or you're out. Elena's mind raced, flashes of her mother's weary face at home in Brooklyn, the stack of medical bills for diabetes treatments piling up on the kitchen table, and her son's hopeful eyes as he studied for college exams. She couldn't afford to snap back, not with the paycheck hanging by a thread, but the humiliation burned, her free hand trembling as she pulled shards from her skin, blood smearing the rag. The guest twisted his heel harder, smirking. Hurry it, sweetheart, or I'll make sure you never touch anything fine again. Elena's teeth clenched, a low hiss escaping her lips, but she forced herself to nod, wiping the blood away with deliberate strokes. Harlan waved a hand dismissively. Enough gawking. Back to the party. She's just doing her job. Guests drifted away, their laughter echoing like nails on glass. But Elena felt eyes lingering, judging. She bandaged her hand with a spare napkin from her apron, the sting pulsing with every heartbeat. Harlan circled back, leaning down. You think that's unfair? Life's unfair. Now about that armchair. Prove you're worth it. His tone dripped condescension, the suede chair in the corner gleaming under chandelier light, a symbol of everything denied to her. Elena's chest tightened, rage simmering beneath her stoic mask. She scrubbed on, the floor reflecting her distorted face, a mask of endurance forged from years of similar slights in high-rises across the city. The party swelled again, music throbbing, but Elena's focus narrowed to the wound, the words echoing in her ears. Another guest bumped her shoulder, spilling more wine. Oops, clean that too. She dove in without a word, her movements mechanical, but inside a storm brewed. Harlan watched from afar, sipping whiskey, a flicker of unease crossing his face as he glanced at an old photo in his wallet, his late brother with a mysterious woman. But he shoved it away, turning back to his elite circle. The night dragged, Elena's hand throbbing, her resolve hardening like steel. She knew this wasn't just about a spill. It was about being seen as less, always less. But deep down, she vowed silently, one day the tables would turn. As the evening peaked, Harlan's son, careless and entitled, toyed with a decorative candle near the drapes, his laughter oblivious. Elena spotted the flame teetering, but before she could warn, her mother burst from the kitchen shadows, having slipped in to drop off homemade remedies for Elena's long shifts. Get off her hand, you brute! Her mother shouted at the lingering guest, voice cracking with fury. Harlan spun, face reddening. Who the hell are you? Out, both of you! I don't pay for this drama. Elena rose, clutching her mother, blood dripping, as they were shoved toward the door, the suede armchair mocking them from its pedestal. The door slammed, night air biting their skin, but the real fire was just igniting inside the penthouse walls. Out! Both of you now! Harlan's roar cut through the penthouse din, his finger jabbing toward the door like a loaded gun. Elena's mother froze, her fists balled, eyes blazing with raw fury, but Elena grabbed her arm, pulling her back before words could erupt. Blood dripped from Elena's hand onto the pristine marble, each drop a silent accusation, but she straightened her spine, chin lifting in defiance. One day, Mr. Whitaker, you'll see that armchair isn't worth the souls you've crushed to sit in it. Her voice sliced low and steady, no tremor, just steel wrapped in velvet thread. Harlan's face twisted, veins bulging in his neck. Threats from the help. You're fired. Get your trash and go before I call security. Elena's chest heaved, pain shooting from her palm, but she locked eyes with him, refusing to blink first. The guests hovered like vultures, whispers hissing. Did she just talk back? But she ignored them, turning to her mother. Mama, let's go. This place isn't worth our blood. Her mother nodded, lips pressed thin, tears glinting but unshed. They moved toward the staff exit, Elena's apron smeared red, her steps deliberate. No rush, no cower. Harlan barked after them. And don't come begging back. You're nothing without this job. Elena paused at the threshold, glancing over her shoulder, her gaze piercing. Nothing? Watch me rise from your nothing? The door clicked shut behind them, sealing the chaos inside. Outside, the Manhattan night gripped them, wind whipping through the alley behind the towering building, carrying distant sirens and the hum of traffic. Elena's hand throbbed, blood soaking the napkin she'd wrapped around it, but she focused on her mother's trembling shoulders. I'm sorry, baby, her mother whispered, voice cracking. I couldn't watch them hurt you anymore. Elena hugged her tight, ignoring the sting. You did right. We've got each other. That's more than their money. They walked arm in arm toward the subway, Elena's mind flashing to the stack of bills at home, the insulin shots her mother needed, the textbooks her son pored over in their cramped apartment. Losing this job meant scraping by on odd gigs, but bending further would shatter her spirit. Her phone buzzed, a text from her son. Mom, you okay? Late again? She typed back quickly, fingers slick with blood. On my way, love you. No details, no burden. She wouldn't let this night poison them. As they descended into the subway station, the rumble of trains echoing her resolve, Elena's jaw set firm. Harlan's words echoed, Black Housemaid. But she pushed them down, fueling a fire in her gut. She'd endured worse. The stares on the bus, the denied promotions, the assumptions that her skin meant less. But tonight's boot on her hand? That crossed a line. Her mother squeezed her arm. We'll fight this. File a complaint. Make noise. Elena nodded, but doubt gnawed. Lawsuits cost money they didn't have. The train doors hissed open, crowds shoving past, but Elena held her ground, boarding with her head high. Seats filled with strangers glancing at her bloody hand, some averting eyes, others offering tissues. She accepted one with a nod, wrapping it tighter. Thank you, she murmured, voice steady. Inside, rage simmered, but she channeled it into plans. Update her resume, call old contacts, shield her family from the fallout. Her mother's breathing steadied beside her, the familiar rhythm and anchor. He'll regret this, her mother said fierce. Elena smiled faintly. He already does. He just doesn't know it yet. The train lurched forward, carrying them home. But back at the penthouse, flames licked the drapes where Harlan's son had knocked the candle. Smoke curling unnoticed at first. Elena's words hung in the air like a curse, her departure a spark in the dark. She didn't glance back, but the weight of injustice pressed heavily, her silence in the face of ejection screaming louder than any shout. As the subway lights flickered, she vowed, this ends with her standing tall, not kneeling. The night deepened, but her path lit with unyielding fire. Fire! Harlan's son's scream ripped through the penthouse, smoke billowing from the drapes where the candle had toppled, flames devouring silk in hungry leaps. Guests bolted, shoving past tables, champagne shattering on the floor, chaos erupting like a bomb. Harlan froze, whiskey glass slipping from his grip, crashing at his feet. Get out! Everyone out! He bellowed, but coughs choked him as acrid smoke clawed his throat. He stumbled toward the door, vision blurring, the suede armchair now shrouded in haze, mocking his earlier arrogance. His mind flashed to Elena's parting words. You'll see that armchair isn't worth the souls you've crushed. And a spike of unease pierced his chest. The flames spread fast, licking walls lined with priceless art, heat searing his skin. Harlan grabbed a coat rack for balance, but it toppled, spilling old family heirlooms from a hidden drawer. Among the clutter, a faded photograph skidded across the floor, his late brother, arm around a young black woman, her smile warm, eyes familiar. Harlan snatched it up, coughing violently, the image blurring through tears from the smoke. "What the?" he muttered, stuffing it into his pocket as flames roared closer. Guests screamed outside, sirens wailing in the distance, but inside, isolation gripped him. His son's voice faded, lost in the panic. Harlan's lungs burned, knees buckling against the wall, the photo's weight pulling at him like an anchor. Why did that woman's face echo Elena's? He clawed toward the exit, but smoke thickened, disorienting him in his domain. "Help!" he rasped, pride crumbling as regret gnawed. Elena's blood on the floor, her defiant stare. They haunted him now. Had he been blind? The fire's crackle drowned his thoughts, but the photo burned hotter in his mind. His brother had vanished years ago, whispers of a secret life, a child perhaps, buried under family scandals. Harlan's hand trembled, pulling the photo out again, the woman's features sharpening in his memory. High cheekbones like Elena's, that same unyielding gaze. "No," he growled, denying the connection, but doubt festered, a seed cracking his armored ego. Flames leaped to the ceiling, heat pressing like a vice. Harlan slumped, gasping, the armchair now engulfed, its luxurious suede melting into ash. Irony stabbed him. The throne he'd dangled as bait reduced to nothing. His actions replayed. The boot on her hand, his mocking promise, her mother's fierce defense. "Damn it," he hissed, fist pounding the floor. Regret surged, raw and unbidden, twisting his gut. He'd built an empire on stepping over people like her. But tonight, the empire fought back. Sirens grew louder, but his vision darkened, smoke filling his lungs. In that haze, Elena's words echoed louder. "Watch me rise." Had he crushed more than he knew? The photo slipped from his fingers, landing face up amid the debris. Suddenly, the side door burst open, cool air rushing in. Elena charged through the smoke, her mother close behind, faces set in grim determination. "There he is!" Elena shouted, spotting Harlan slumped. She didn't hesitate, grabbing his arms, her bandaged hand protesting with fresh pain. "Up! Move!" Her mother steadied his legs, the three staggering towards safety, coughing in unison. Harlan's eyes widened, shock cutting through the fog. "You? Why?" he croaked, but Elena cut him off. "Shut up and walk." They dragged him out, bursting into the night, paramedics swarming as firefighters charged in. Harlan collapsed on the steps, gulping air, the photo clutched in his fist. Elena stood over him, soot-streaked, her gaze unflinching. "We don't leave people to burn, even you." His chest heaved, regret crashing like waves. The photo's mystery gnawed deeper, his brother's secret, perhaps tied to this woman who'd just saved him. Harlan's arrogance cracked, a small fracture widening. Guests milled around whispering, but he ignored them, staring at Elena as she tended her mother. The fire's glow illuminated her strength, a mirror to his weakness. Sirens blared, but inside a quieter storm brewed. The first whisper of redemption, seeded by that damn photo. As dawn crept over the skyline, Harlan pocketed the image, vowing silently to uncover its truth, the night's ashes stirring embers of change he couldn't yet name. "You owe me nothing. Get out of my sight." Harlan snarled at the paramedic wrapping his arm, shoving the blanket off his shoulders as dawn broke over the scorched penthouse steps. His lungs still burned from smoke, but rage boiled hotter, aimed at himself now. Elena had vanished into the crowd, her mother in tow, their backs straight as they melted into the Manhattan morning rush. Harlan's fist clenched around the crumpled photo, his brother's face staring back, the woman's eyes, Elena's eyes, boring into him. "Find her," he barked at his assistant hovering nearby, voice raw. "Elena Thompson, Brooklyn address. Now." The assistant nodded, phone already out, but Harlan cut him off. "And keep it quiet. No leaks." He stormed into a waiting limo, the door slamming like a gunshot, tires screeching as it peeled away. Inside, solitude hit hard, the photo trembling in his grip. Regret clawed his throat, her blood on his floor, her rescue of him despite it all. Damn fool, he muttered, dialing a private investigator. Track her fast. I need answers. The PI's voice crackled back. On it, boss. Give me an hour. Harlan leaned back, eyes closing, but visions assaulted him. Elena's bandaged hand dragging him from flames, her mother's fierce grip on his legs. Why save a bastard like him? His empire flashed. Boardrooms where he'd crushed deals. Homes where staff like her faded into walls. But this photo cracked that facade, his brother's secret life surfacing like a corpse from the deep. The limo sliced through traffic, Harlan's impatience mounting. He scrolled contacts, barking orders at underlings. Cancel meetings, clear my day. A text pinged, the PI with an address in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. She's there. Low-income spot, family of 3. Harlan's jaw locked. Low income. He'd tossed her out like trash, yet she'd pulled him from hell. The car veered east, crossing the bridge, Manhattan's towers shrinking in the mirror. Brooklyn loomed, streets narrower, buildings weathered, people hustling with purpose he rarely saw in his circles. The limo stuck out, drawing stares, but Harlan ignored them, fixated on the photo. His brother dead 10 years from an accident with this woman. Who was she? A fling. More. Elena's age fit, mid-40s, like a hidden heir. Nausea twisted his gut. Had he humiliated his blood? The car halted outside a faded brownstone, kids playing on stoops, neighbors eyeing the luxury vehicle. Harlan stepped out, suit rumpled with soot, striding up cracked steps. He pounded the door, heart hammering. No answer. Elena, he shouted, fist slamming again. A window cracked upstairs, her mother's face peering down, eyes narrowing. You! What do you want? Harlan's temper flared. To talk. Now. The door buzzed open, but as he entered the dim hall, regret surged anew. Peeling paint, the smell of home-cooked meals clashing with his cologne. Upstairs, Elena's mother blocked the apartment door, arms crossed. You fired her, hurt her. Why come crawling? Harlan's voice dropped. She saved my life. I owe her. Inside, the space hit him. Cramped living room, medical supplies on the table for diabetes, textbooks stacked for her son. Elena emerged from the kitchen, hand freshly bandaged, eyes cold steel. What, Mr. Whitaker? Come to gloat? He thrust the photo forward. This. Explain. Her face paled, recognition flashing. That's my grandmother? With your brother? Harlan's breath caught. My brother. Dead years ago. If you're... He trailed off, the implication slamming him. Elena snatched the photo, fingers trembling. Mama, look. Her mother gasped. Lord, it's her. The man she left everything for. Harlan paced, mind reeling. I need proof. Tests. If you're family... Elena cut him. Family? After what you did? He pressed on, voice cracking. I was blind. Cruel. But that fire, your rescue, opened my eyes. Elena's son entered, tall and wary, textbooks in hand. Mom, who's this? She shielded him. Nobody. Go study. Harlan's gaze softened on the boy. College dreams mirroring his youth, but without silver spoons. Regret deepened, a knife twist. I can help. Medical bills, tuition. Just talk. Elena's eyes bored into him. Help or by silence? He shook his head. No games. I search for truth now. The room tensed, her mother intervening. Sit, child. Hear him. Harlan sank into a worn chair, worlds from his Suede throne, spilling fragments. His brother's disappearance. Family cover-ups. Elena listened, walls cracking, her own story slipping out. Growing up fatherless, whispers of a rich uncle. Hours blurred, coffee cooling untouched, as pieces fit, letters hidden, payouts silenced. Harlan's phone buzzed. PI with more. DNA leads possible. We'll test, he declared. If it's true, Elena stood. If, then what? You can't erase years of slights. He met her gaze. No, but I can start fixing. As he left, photo in hand, the The brownstone door clicked shut, but a bridge formed, fragile. Back in the limo, Harlan stared at the skyline, the search shifting from her address to their shared blood, regret fueling every mile. The truth beckoned, but shadows of family secrets loomed larger, pulling him deeper into unknown depths. Back off, or I'll call the cops. Elena's voice cracked like a whip at the nosy neighbor pounding on her door, her bandaged hand gripping the knob tight, knuckles white against the fresh pain. Harlan had just left, his limo vanishing down the street, but the echo of his words, "if your family," hung heavy, stirring a whirlwind in her chest. She slammed the door, leaning against it, breath ragged, eyes squeezing shut. No tears, just fury boiling, fists clenching until nails dug into palms. Her mother hovered in the kitchen doorway, face etched with worry, stirring a pot of soup that filled the air with comfort she couldn't feel. "Baby, sit. That man's poison." Elena shook her head, pushing off the door. "Poison? He's got answers, Mama. That photo. Grandma with his brother. If it's true." She paced the cramped living room, dodging the stack of bills on the coffee table, her son's backpack slung over a chair. Regret gnawed at her for letting Harlan in, but curiosity burned fiercer. 45 years of scraping by, invisible in rich folks' homes, mopping their messes while hiding her own. Not anymore. Elena grabbed her phone, dialing her best friend from the community center. "Tasha, need a favor. Look up Whitaker family scandals. Quiet." Tasha's laugh barked back. "Girl, you in deep? On it." Elena hung up, sinking into the worn couch, hand throbbing. She wasn't broken. She was forging steel. Her son burst in from his room, textbooks clutched. "Mom, who was that suit? Looked like trouble." She forced a smile, pulling him close. "Just work stuff. Focus on your studies. Harvard won't wait." He nodded, but his eyes searched hers, worry mirroring her own. The apartment buzzed with life despite the cracks. Neighbors dropping by with food, her mother humming old hymns while folding laundry. The rhythm a shield against chaos. Elena rose, heading to the tiny balcony overlooking Brooklyn streets, alive with vendors and kids shouting. She breathed deep, the sting in her hand a reminder of last night's boot. But she stood tall, helping a neighbor haul groceries up the stairs, her voice firm. "Let me take that. You rest." The woman grinned. Elena, always the rock. Inside, she bandaged fresh, wincing but pushing through, prepping dinner with one hand, chopping onions, stirring rice, the motions mechanical yet defiant. Her world wasn't crumbling, it was her fortress. Phone buzzed. Tasha. Found dirt. Whitaker's brother vanished in '85. Rumors of a black lover, a kid hidden, payouts to silence. Elena's breath hitched, fist slamming the counter. "Proof?" Tasha. "Old articles, sending links." Elena scanned them on her cracked screen, heart pounding. Her grandmother's stories matched. A forbidden romance, abandonment, and raising a daughter alone. Elena's mother. If Harlan's brother was her father. She shoved the phone away, rage surging. All those years, blood tied to wealth that scorned her. But she channeled it, calling her son's school counselor. "Any scholarships open? He's top of the class." The counselor. "I'll push it through." Elena hung up, resolve hardening. She wouldn't beg Harlan, she'd build her path. Her mother set plates down, eyes soft. "Eat, strength for the fight." Elena nodded, fork stabbing food, mind racing. Community whispers reached her, friends offering gigs at local cafes, a church group rallying for her medical fund. She attended a quick meeting down the block, voice rising. "We don't break, we lift each other." Heads nodded, hands clasping hers, the solidarity a balm. Back home, her son studied under dim light, determination in his furrowed brow. "Mom, I'll make you proud." She ruffled his hair. "You already do." Night fell, but Elena didn't sleep, poring over family albums, finding more photos matching the one Harlan had. A letter tucked in, Grandma's handwriting. "He promised the world, left us nothing." Fury ignited, but hope flickered too. She wasn't Ji Wei-ying, she was rising, her world a web of resilience, family bonds tighter than any chain. As midnight ticked, a knock echoed, Harlan's assistant with an envelope. Medical payment checks? Tuition vouchers? Elena tore it open, jaw set. Tell him this buys time, not forgiveness. The assistant fled, but Elena clutched the papers, a tool in her arsenal. Her mother watched. What now? Elena's eyes gleamed. We dig deeper. If he's family, he owes more than money. The envelope's weight pulled her toward truths buried long, her unyielding spirit the key unlocking doors Harlan never imagined. Open the door, Elena. I won't leave until you hear me out. Harlan's fist hammered the brownstone again, his voice booming through the wood, face flushed from the climb, soot still clinging to his collar from the fire's aftermath. Elena yanked it open, eyes flashing like daggers, her bandaged hands slamming against the frame. Hear you. After booting us out? Save it. Harlan pushed forward, but she blocked him, chest heaving. Not inside. Say it here. He halted, breath ragged, the envelope from his assistant crumpled in his pocket. No, he'd sent checks earlier. Now he came empty-handed, but loaded with truth. That photo, it's not a coincidence. My brother, your father. Elena's laugh barked sharply. Father? He abandoned us. Like you abandoned decency. Harlan's jaw locked, regret surging as he pulled a DNA kit from his coat. Test it. Prove it. She snatched it, fingers digging in. Prove what? That blood excuses your boot on my hand? He stepped closer, voice dropping. No excuses. I was wrong. Cruel. The fire showed me. You dragged me out. Why? Elena's lips curled. Humanity. Something you lack. Her mother appeared behind her, arms crossed tight. Let him speak, child. For your boy's sake. Elena's gaze softened fractionally, but steel remained. Fine, inside. But one wrong word, you're gone. Harlan entered, the apartment's warmth hitting him like a slap. Family photos on walls, her son's drawings pinned up, a stark contrast to his sterile penthouse. He sank into the couch, knees bumping the table stacked with bills. I covered those. Medical. Tuition. Elena crossed her arms. Bribes. Keep them. He leaned forward, eyes locking on hers. Not bribes. Start of amends. If the test confirms, she cut him. If? Then what? Parade me as the lost niece? Harlan's fist clenched. No parades. Rights. Inheritance. A seat at the table. Elena paced, rage coiling. Table? Where you dangle armchairs like bait. Her son peeked from his room, eyes wide. Mom? She waved him back. Study. Harlan's gaze followed the boy, a pang hitting. Echoes of his youth, but privileged. He's smart, deserves better. Elena whirled. He has better. Us. Silence stretched, broken by her mother's sigh. Test it, Elena, for closure. Elena tore open the kit, swabbing her cheek with fierce jabs. Fine, but conditions. Harlan nodded. Name them. First, full apology. Public. In your circles. Harlan's face tightened. Public? My reputation. She jabbed a finger. Your reputation is built on crushing us. Do it. He swallowed hard. Done. Second, change your company. No more slights, training, diversity. Harlan's eyes narrowed. That's business overhaul. Elena leaned in. Or no deal. He rubbed his temple, visions of boardroom battles flashing. Agreed. Third, dig into the past. Why hide my father? Harlan pulled another photo from his wallet, matching the one, but with a letter attached. This came with it. Your grandmother's handwriting? Elena grabbed it, breath catching. Yes, he left for family pressure. Whitaker's name too pure. Her voice cracked, fist pounding the table. Pure? Racist garbage. Harlan's head bowed. I enabled it, but we'll uncover all. Tears pricked Elena's eyes, but she blinked them away, rage fueling fire. Test results in days. If positive, you recognize me. Legally. Harlan stood. I will. And more. As he turned to leave, Elena's hand shot out, gripping his arm. Wait, this letter mentions a box. Hidden assets. In your vault? Harlan froze, mind racing. Vault? My father's old safe, never opened. Elena's eyes gleamed. Open it. Together. He nodded, pulse quickening. Tomorrow, my office. The door shut behind him, but the air crackled with an alliance forged in fire. Elena clutched the letter, her mother hugging her tight. Smart, baby. Use him. Elena nodded, resolve ironclad. I will. For us. Night deepened, Elena poring over the letter under lamplight, decoding hints. Dates, names, a scandal buried. Her son slept nearby, dreams untainted. She texted Tasha, more dirt, Whitaker vault secrets. Reply pinged. On it. Careful. Elena's jaw set. This wasn't just reconciliation, it was leverage. Harlan's conditions were accepted, but her terms were carved deep. As sleep evaded, visions assaulted. The armchair in ashes, her hand in blood. Now this letter, a key to chains breaking. Tomorrow's meeting loomed, the box's contents whispering promises of upheaval, pulling her into shadows Harlan's family guarded fiercely. Stay out of Whitaker's business, you filthy intruder. The vault door swung open with a metallic groan, and Harlan's longtime estate manager, Reginald Voss, his distant cousin, white-haired and sharp-eyed at 65, lunged from the shadows, his face contorted in fury, a heavy ledger clutched like a weapon. Elena recoiled, her hand instinctively guarding the bandaged wound, but she stood firm in the dim-lit basement of Harlan's rebuilt penthouse office, the air thick with dust and secrets. Harlan shoved Voss back, veins bulging. Reginald! What the hell? This is family. Voss's lips curled in a sneer, eyes raking over Elena with naked disdain. Family? This woman tainting our bloodline? Elena's fist balled, rage igniting. Taint? Watch your mouth, old man. Voss slammed the ledger down, papers scattering, his finger jabbing at Elena. I know what you're after, digging up dirt on the vault, but it's mine, our legacy, pure and unbroken. Harlan grabbed his arm. Enough. She's my niece. DNA confirmed. Voss laughed, bitter and cutting. Niece? From that bastard brother's fling? We buried that scandal for a reason. Elena stepped forward, voice slicing. Buried? Like you buried payoffs to my grandmother? Voss's eyes widened, then narrowed to slits. How dare you? I protected the empire. Your kind would have dragged us down. Harlan roared. My kind? She's blood. But Voss twisted free, shoving Harlan against the wall. Blood. Diluted.